This is James Lupton for Round 8 Boxing. Delighted to join with Matt Floyd. Matt, how are you?
Good, bro, yourself?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Thanks for joining me. Listen, I've not set out a set of questions. You messaged me earlier with your a little bit of your story, and it's wild. Let's take it back to the beginning, and I'm going to let you sort of take the lead.
The beginning. Um, so yeah, I don't know where to start, man. From when I was a kid.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, tell me where it all sort of started from. Obviously, you mentioned to me earlier about how in the UK all the press is sort of saying Tommy Fury versus ex-gang leader.
Yeah.
Talk about, why and how the gang life stemmed and where it came from.
Well, it started. So when I was about, I lived in like different homes and foster care. One of the families I lived with was they ended up being like where I'm from in Western Australia, like a pedophile family. When I was 10, I was the oldest kid there. I ran away after being there for about 6 months. I was the oldest kid, even like I felt like a coward obviously running and when I was even like I always thought I did everything wrong. Even the shit they made me do and things like that, like, And then about a year later they got done for being a pedophile family and I felt even more guilt. And then I think after that I that's where I created this person who's just not scared of anything or anyone. And uh, I remember first year of high school I'd fight everyone and anyone, and just it just grew from that, I guess. Then I had hatred. I think everyone hates a photo. I hope everyone hates a pedophile. I guess I just wanted to do something about it, and I was doing stuff, and then obviously I led the gang into helping me do it. Well, kidnapping pedophiles. I ended up getting ultimately done for it, and spent most of my 20s in prison for it. Um, and yeah, and then when I got out of prison, I dedicated my life to getting pedophiles for a bit there, and then when I got out, I mean, I still hate them, and if I could belly up and get them, I would. But obviously I can't. I learned that the hard way. Um, so now I dedicated my life to boxing. I think and I've given that to kids now, teenagers like myself, confused teenagers like myself. I've taken them off the street. I've housed them. I put them in the gym. I've done it all off my own back. I've funded it all for years. One of my boys is Australian champion now, and that's what I've dedicated my life to now, doing that, and obviously boxing. This fight, the number one reason why I want this fight is to show other kids and teenagers like myself, or anyone really, that, I mean, obviously anything can be done. I mean, these guys, these famous people always fight the famous people. Billionaires always fight other millionaires or billionaires, and you never see anyone like Rocky Balboa move. You never see that happen, and this is shown them that it can. The second reason, which is my selfish reason why I want to do this. So the first, I want to do it first for them, but secondly, for my own personal stuff, is I believe I can beat the best in the world, and I know this is my gateway. If I well, once I if I I fight him and I beat him, which I will, I then I feel like I'll be able to fight whoever from there. So it's my gateway to fighting the best in the world, which is my selfish reasons for this fight.
Absolutely. Let's go back to the home there. You spent 6 months. You say, if you don't want to speak about it, then please just say, don't feel like you have to. Um, what was, I mean, at the time, did you know that what they were doing was wrong? Was you personally abused or?
Yeah, um, I haven't gone too much into this, but we sorry, we so I was the oldest kid, and like I say, like if I talk to people about this, they'll always be like when you're a kid, you think you're doing everything wrong. Like they'll make us. Sorry, it isn't working.
I've still got you.
Yeah, okay. They're making videos and things like that. Me being the oldest kid, I obviously felt that, not just like a coward for running, but also I felt like when they make you do these things, you actually feel like you're doing something wrong. You actually feel like you're the one that's abusing the kids and stuff. You don't realize you're a kid yourself in that moment. And now I can see as many counselors and whatever and this and that, and they'll tell you, it wasn't your fault, whatever, blah blah blah. But it doesn't change anything when you're a kid and you feel all that shit. You can't. Doesn't matter. You can't get that or how you felt in that moment. You know what I mean? It doesn't go. So even though I know now, yeah, but um, in that moment, I thought it was all normal, man. Like they made it normal. Like you'd have a proper ceremony, or you'd actually get proper married, to a kid before they would video other shit. It was all just making movies and shit. So um, I don't. I think they were more into making movies and stuff than actually probably being like abusers themselves. I think it was more about money, like a business to them. But I'm not really sure.
You said about a year after you ran away, they were done for it. They were caught and found. Um, did you get a sense of relief from that at all?
Now, as a kid, I did, but as an adult, no. So as an adult, when we know what happens to these guys, like uh, not at all, man. Like because you only go to prison for um a few years. I'm pretty sure the main guy he only went to prison like himself for. I mean, he got a big sentence, but normally like considering compared to others, but it still wasn't long enough. Like it's just they get looked after. I know. I don't know how it is over there, but there was another there's a if you molest a kid, bro, you get 1 or 2 years if for it, bro. And that's what happens all the time. That's normal because they just say they got molested when they were kids, so it's all right. They justify it that way. And it's just, yeah, it's fucked the system. So that's why obviously I did what I did, and even what I did, trying to scare them to death, isn't enough. Like I think that's the best you're going to get out of them, but that's still not enough because usually I reckon 50% of boys probably kill themselves. I think that's what the rate is. And yeah, so it's not enough, obviously. And also the other boy, that fear that they had being scared to death, you can't really install that into these guys.
Talked about the obviously later in life that led to you joining gangs, street life, crime. Talked about that path you took in life, and was you essentially rebelling against your childhood and your upbringing?
I think I just found homes, man, in it. In saying that, I had some good homes, man. I had some good families look after me, and I don't like to miss out on them. But I never had stability. It was chaotic. I was always, in different places, and I guess I was trying to. I've always been a natural leader, and I guess I'd be a part of these things and lead. I guess I felt like because I never had a father or a father figure role model, so I guess I tried to be that person, and then I led. I don't know, man. It was like a family thing, maybe to me. I'm not really sure.
Was it the first time in your life you probably felt a bit of togetherness?
Um, It's funny. You'd think I've been asked all these questions. I should be able to answer them. I don't. Uh, Probably, yeah. Probably like maybe the home thing. Maybe I'm not sure. It could be a bit of rebelling, and I'm not really sure, man. It's weird because I'll do bad. Say I did bad things, right? Like say I was at we had this place called Farmer Jack's, which was like a Coles or whatever. Or I don't know whatever supermarkets you have over there behind the school, right? And I would steal from this place and I'd sell all the stuff at the school, for example, build money, and then I'd turn it into Pokemon cards or games or whatever business I was doing at that time. And every time I'd make the money back, I wouldn't go back to the shop and give it to someone, but they'd have like the duck at the front where you could donate. I'd always put every money back. So it's not like I was rebelling and doing crime because I wanted to get back, because I would never like take and then not give it back, if that made sense. I'd always try and be morally correct. So I don't know, it's a hard one.
Let's talk about your time in prison. What did you learn from being inside?
Prison over here, I don't know what it's like over there. It's not too bad. Prison, the worst part about prison is just being away from people and being able to live. In prison, I ran the gym, which is like one of the most privileged jobs you can have. So you're in the gym every day, and you see all the other prisoners every day, and also I don't smoke, I don't use drugs, so that's 90% of the issues in there. I would sorry.
Right.
I used to get right involved in there, and I ended up being captain of the footy team in Blast when I got right in there. So I actually did a lot in the prison. I was peer support, I run the gym, and I introduced the first boxing program into Casuarina, which is like Casuarina is going to be one of the like main worst jails in Australia, but it's not really that bad. And I introduced boxing to it. Boxing stayed on for years up until a few years ago. I introduced boxing because I was hammering them and this and that. I was training myself all day, every day in front of like a little mirror. And then I got boxing into there. And yeah, So and boxing, sorry, jail. There's a lot of time to think. I train my fucking ass off. I train harder than anyone, I think. And that's all I did was just train, and yeah, and I learned heaps about myself, got aware in that, and then got prepared to come out and plan, to do what I did with the youth instead of adults because I was doing what I do with the youth now. I did that with adults before I went to prison, but I wouldn't do that again because my belief is with adults once they're gone down that road, there's a 1% chance of them coming back. I believe with the teenagers myself, like when I was that age, if you get them, like say you get 100 of them, you'll probably change 50 of them. That's what I've seen myself anyway. So that's why I focus now on that. And I planned all that while I was in prison. I thought about it, and yeah, and everything I said I was going to do in prison, I did, and I'm doing it. Obviously, I'm doing it now. I said I was going to be a world champion. I had a mate in prison who got world champion tattooed to his back because he believed in me, and a lot of people laughed about it, but fucking I did everything I said, and I did it all the hard way.
Absolutely. Um, Obviously, you've sat there in prison and you sort of thought about what you want to do when you get out of prison, what you're going to, how you're going to change people's lives. Is it fair to say you left prison a better person?
Yeah, I learned. I think like when I went to prison for what I did, like the crime, like I was pretty pissed off. I'm like, this is bullshit. A lot of people in there. I mean, everyone says the same. You should have got a medal. I had people like. Do you remember Danny Green,
Yeah.
the boxer? So
Yeah.
he did like a letter for me and said, "Mate, you should have been awarded a medal." People like that like stood up for me, and and um And so being in there, I was a bit pissed off. But then I thought, you know what? I'm not going to say I was a saint when I was, doing things. Like obviously I did bad things as well. So I know that I deserve to be in jail, just not for that long that I got. So I got a long time. So I feel like after a year, I was like, all right, like I'm different. Like like it's helped me and this and that. Like I want to be different when I get out this time. I want to make the most of life. But then it just dragged after that for years and years after that. So I think the first year was enough for what I had done. And then yeah, I think I was like, yep, I deserve this. Not for getting pedophiles, but for everything else maybe. And then yeah, it just fucking dragged after that. But yeah.
And let's come on to obviously you're chasing a fight with Tommy Fury. It seems to be that you're the front runner to be the opponent. Can I ask, in terms of talks, how far has that gone? What's the situation?
I wish I could tell you. I've never, obviously, I've been doing things on my own with the fights, with in the past. This has been the biggest roller coaster, emotional. Me being up till fucking 5 in the morning, not knowing what's going on. So Mick Francis, who's Jai Bataille's manager, got involved because he knows a lot more about this than me a week or 2 weeks ago, and I'm just leaving it with him. And what I do know is like a few days ago, I mean, I've had quite a few people offer me out um, and talk shit and this and that, which is great. And I said to Mick, man, I'll fight them. I'll fight. I can't remember that Idris, and I'll fight um, whoever else the names were in that. And he's like, mate, fucking, do you want to fight fucking Tommy Fury on a fight? So he's like, look, I've got a plan. I'm talking to him. Just leave it. So whatever's going on, he seems confident. Matt Clark, who works with him, I spoke to him and he seems confident. So I'm just leaving it in their hands. They're telling me what to do, and not telling me what to do, but they're telling me to be myself, but when to say it and who to talk to, like I'm talking to you now, and all that sort of stuff.
Absolutely. Um, in terms of Tommy Fury, have you seen much of him? What do you rate him? What do you think of him?
Um, So people ask me about, say, Tommy Fury, Jake Paul, and they bag them and say, I think they're much better. They are much better. So I don't think they are much better than what people say. I think, say, for example, Jake Paul, you give any above average athlete millions of dollars to train all day, every day for 5 years and give them all the backup and resource and everything, they're going to become a top 100 fighter. He may be even a top 50 fighter. I don't think he's going to beat anyone in the top 10. But you do that with most men that are above average. Obviously, they've got a bit of athletic ability. Tommy Fury is probably the same. He beat Jake Paul, so he's probably in the top 50. I don't think he'd beat anyone in the top 10. I think I would. But yeah, that's what I think. I think they're much better than what people give him credit for. Definitely.
And just finally, we'll wrap it up with any message for Tommy Fury, potentially your next opponent.
I can't wait, man, to fight. I love their family, man. I love obviously the Furies, and fucking I really, like I said earlier about the whole that just they should do, yeah, he should do this, man. Like it's fucking he's gonna fight a legitimate boxer, and I fucking deserve it. I've earned it. I want it. I think he will think that. this will be an easy fucking day. Obviously, I definitely think differently. And yeah, I think it's fucking great for both of us.
Absolutely. Matt, appreciate your time. Thank you very much. Been a pleasure speaking to you.
Thanks for everything, man. Thank you.
Thank you.